welcome to the morning show. We're coming to you today on WJOP-LP Newburyport at 96.3 FM on Channel 9 and on Newburyport Community Media's YouTube channel at ncmhub.org. I'm your host, Mary Jacobsen, and I'm just delighted this morning to welcome Dr. Minji Kim and Penny Lazarus here to talk about the Newburyport Choral Society. Dr. Kim holds a Doctorate of Musical Arts in Conducting from the University of Maryland, a Master of Music degree in Choral Conducting from Ohio State University, and a Bachelor of Music degree in Composition from Yeungnam University in South Korea. She's currently Assistant Professor of Music at Gordon College and also directs choirs there. And she's also, I'm happy to report, the Newburyport Choral Society's new music director, starting with the 23-24 season. Dr. Kim, Minji, welcome to the morning show, and thank you for taking time to be here.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here today with everybody.
Likewise. Well, and Penny Lazarus is also here. Penny is the esteemed, renowned Newburyport piano teacher and return guest on the morning show, and she also just happens to be the membership director for the Newburyport Choral Society. Penny, always good to see you and have you on the show. Welcome, and thank you as well for taking time to be here.
Thank you, Mary, very much. My husband has been teasing me about the adjective renowned.
It was a deliberate choice on my part. And you are, let's face it. Well, Minji, I was curious to find out from you, was there an experience in your early life that made it clear to you that music was going to be your calling, or did you just always know that it would be?
I don't think there was one special event or moment that I recall as, oh, wow, this music is my calling for my life. But I think music was always an important part of my life as I was growing up. I remember always singing or trying to accompany myself on the piano or harmonizing on a simple melody and just like humming all the time. So I think I knew already that music would be an important part of my life.
It sounds like you were born with a soundtrack.
I guess so.
An internal soundtrack.
Yes, my parents told me so.
Your fate was clear. Well, what drew you to choral conducting in particular?
So I was actually majoring in composition as an undergrad back in South Korea. I was born and raised in South Korea, and then I moved to here in 2014. And before then, I was studying composition. And I loved the act or the action of solitary moments, writing music, trying to create something on the white blank page, and I really loved that idea. But then I also at the same time missed working with people, making music with people, like a practical side of it. So I missed that part. And then I always loved singing, as long as I remember. And I was always singing all the time. And one of my dear music teachers back in South Korea one time recommended me towards the end of my undergrad studies. He was sort of leading me into this new world of conducting. And I thought choral conducting would be a great meeting point for all of these things that I love to do. Making music with my favorite instrument, which was voice, which is still voice, and also working with people. But then also this solitary moment of score study, like sitting down and trying to have a conversation with composers. Sometimes composers are not there anymore to ask questions. Why did you write like this for this particular text? And I just loved doing all of that, mixture of all of it. And I think the choral conducting was a perfect meeting point for all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds as though choral conducting was a convergence of everything you loved about music. So, well, that sounds really great. Well, I'm curious to find out, what's your vision for the Newburyport Choral Society, both musically and as part of our larger community?
So, Newburyport Choral Society is a non-auditioned choir that is open to everybody. And I love to continue to provide the safe environment that everyone, regardless of their musical musical background or level, feel free to join and feel safe to join. So that's my goal, to continue and also create a safe place for everyone. And musically, I would love to explore a little more areas that we haven't maybe perhaps performed in the past. Music by underrepresented composers, and trying to bring music from different countries. Perhaps it could be my own countries as well, which actually we're performing one of the pieces next year in the spring concert. So I hope to bring some of those into our repertoire.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that was really important in the interviewing process for music directors. Is we had already started in that direction, that all voices matter, and wanting to not only sing the favorites and the big pieces, but the biggest choral pieces have big orchestras. And so we sometimes struggle with space for everybody, and they require a bigger budget. So while NCS is known for always singing with orchestra, at times we need to vary those big pieces with a mixture of smaller pieces that are called octavo pieces. And so with Black Lives Matter and All Voices Matter, Ryan Turner, our prior director, was already leading us into discovering wonderful choral pieces by Black composers and composers of color. Women composers have been left out of the arrangements for choral singing and for a long time. So that was so important in our interview. And Minji she just jumped in with this joy on her face and had these wonderful ideas already for different kinds of pieces that we could sing, surrounding all of, the favorite big choral pieces that are a unique joy, when we do those as well.
Yeah, and those hidden gems can have the opportunity to become favorite choral pieces because they won't be hidden any longer. So
it needs deliberate effort to bring them on the plate.
Right, and that's usually the first problem, is that people don't know them, and people like to sing things that they're familiar with, whether they've sung them before or listened to them on their own. And so it takes a brave space and a safe space. I'm so glad you brought up the word safe, to explore new terrain and new music, but also to have new singers feel comfortable, bringing their voice out maybe the first time. Maybe they haven't sung in a chorus for a long time. So I love that you use the word safe.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. It's important, especially if you haven't sung in a chorus before, or if your singing has been latent. So bring it forth with joy. I know that the joy of singing is an important value for you, Minji. And so I'm curious to find out, as a conductor, what's your secret to bringing the joy of singing alive?
I don't know if I have any secret to bring joy alive. I think the joy is just created in this action of doing it together, like this togetherness of ensemble. And I think it really is not one directional. I think it's really multi-directional. So in choir, what we do in everyday rehearsals, they become joy themselves. Sometimes rehearsals are automatically just magically, very moving, and it just moves along really easily. But then some of the rehearsals can be more like, it can feel more like drills.
Well, yes, Penny, I should, in full transparency, I sing with the Choral Society, and so I can refer to Penny and say, well, yeah, we've been there, right? We've been there. And the joy is preferable.
But then, even then, regardless of which side of the rehearsal it is, it always brings these different types of joy. Sometimes it comes from a little bit hard work, and sometimes it comes from just automatically comes from the atmosphere of the rehearsal. And I think my role as a new NCS music director is to help that along the way, help people help the singers to find the joy regardless of where we are along the way in that journey of making music together. So maybe hopefully I can try to bring some musical insights to bring our 100 voices together to make it tighter, and hopefully I could continue to provide a safe environment for everyone to join and sing.
Yeah, I think safety is one of the components that can help release the joy as you're describing the process. Absolutely. Well, are there musical works that particularly bring you joy?
There are many. When someone asks me like, "What's your favorite piece?" it's really hard to respond to that answer, because I love my favorite work is the one that I'm working on currently.
Well, that's probably as it should be.
Yes.
I always feel the same way. In chorus as well. My favorite work is the piece we're
Something that
working
you're
on.
working on. But one particular musical work or event is when I performed Brahms' Requiem as a singer at Lincoln Center with under the direction of my dear mentor teacher Rick Biella, who is now an emeritus professor of Texas Tech University. And it was just a really wonderful moment that was life-changing as a musician that I still remember. I mean, every performance has its own special memories. It creates its own special memories. But that one particularly, it's just residing in me for so long that I always go back to that time, those sometimes hard rehearsals and sometimes really just moving rehearsals. I think of those moments a lot. It was just really perfect. His leadership was just very rich, and it was just he is a charismatic person, and I just learned so much by watching him and singing under his direction. But then also the people that I sang with, my friends, that I still keep in touch with them, just wonderful people around me. So making music together with my friends that I love so much, and also wonderful leadership, and also a tour, a trip together with those people, and wonderful music, Brahms' Requiem. It was just really perfect, and I just still remember that so much.
Well, the way you describe it, it sounds like just an extremely impactful experience that you had. It's very inspiring and touching to hear you describe it that way, and I'm going to go home and listen to it now. Penny, I should give you the chance. Is there a particular, I know, given that what you're working on now is highlighted, but is there a particular joyful music that you recall? Or?
Well, I really feel that whatever I'm working on becomes my favorite piece, even if it's something that's hard at first or very unfamiliar or might have some dissonance built in at first. But I can't hardly recall a piece where I didn't fall in love with by the time we finished it as a group. But I do remember those trip experiences. And we've had a few of those in NCS. It was maybe about 7 years ago that we all went to Carnegie Hall and worked with the festival chorus, which is a chorus that just comes together for a performance. And it was Duraflay's Requiem. And, not the whole chorus went, but a bunch of people did. And when, that life in the hotel room with your choir mates, and you go out to lunch and dinner together, and you just get to know everybody so well. And those are memorable things. And so hopefully we can look forward to a few more of those with Minji as well. What I want to not forget to say is that the relationship between a choral director and the chorus has been changing over the generations. And it used to be very male. The choral directors, conductors of orchestras. Women are still just breaking into the conducting major symphony orchestras across the world, and especially in the United States. So traditionally, there is this top-down organization between a music director and their orchestra and or their singers. So it's kind of an authoritarian structure where they're the decision makers, they're the ones who, and you follow. And And then when our time with George Case, he had us falling in love with him because he would begin rehearsals in a semester by saying, "See my hands? They don't make any sound. You do. You're the ones who make the sound." Now with Minji, first meeting her and talking to her in interviews and then watching Minji with the chorus, it's like a we. This is, I think, maybe the first time I think everyone else is going to find that out. We are in this together. Minji has enough confidence and enough assurance in her technique that she can ask the chorus, "What do you think? How would you interpret this part of the music? What are your thoughts? How can we build this into what we do?" And yet, when she steps on the podium, there is no hesitation that Minji's in charge. So it is really wonderful to watch you do both at the same time. So you command respect the minute you raise your hands. Yet at the same time, I have a feeling like that it's a very friendship, democratic, sharing music experience. And I think we have a lot to look forward to with that.
Well, I couldn't agree more because I was at Minji's audition of conducting, and I just will underline everything that you just described, and you put it so well. I experienced what you said, but I couldn't have put the words to it the way you did, Penny, so thank you for that. So, Minji, I'm really curious to find out then, your first concert with the Choral Society will be the winter concert this December, so please tell us what you have planned and what's exciting to you about the program.
Yeah, sure. The topic of the concert is the celebration of unity. So we are trying to bring these pieces of different backgrounds and cultures and bring this alive to celebrate this holiday season together. So we have a lot of different selections, some octavos, but then also one multi-movement work as well. Those octavo means small works, like shorter works, like 4 to 6 minutes. We have a piece, a Spanish sacred music by Pablo Sosa, and we also have African Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is an African American celebration for life that starts right after Christmas, 25th of December, and we also have a Jewish piece, Hanukkah music. It's called Mise Yemalel, and we also have a Filipino choral music, Christmas music, Himig Pasko, and we also have two sort of traditional choral music by Zoltan Kodai, an arrangement of Okam Okam Emmanuel, Veni Veni Emmanuel, and then we also have late Renaissance composer's piece, Jacob Handel's piece, and we also have, what else do we have? A ceremony of carols,
the much loved.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of the familiar carols that everyone knows pops up in the Britons Ceremony of Carols.
Ceremony of Carols.
And you've picked a wonderful arrangement of Silent Night.
Oh, yeah,
great.
Silent Night, that's right. Yeah, it's really beautiful piece, beautiful arrangement. And also we have GNCC joining us for this concert, Greater Newburyport Children's Choir.
Yes.
And so excited to have these young voices together with us on that day. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
The next generation of choral singers.
Yes,
right.
It sounds so exciting, I can hardly wait. Can we just fast forward to December? That sounds really wonderful. Well, I know the Choral Society is about to launch its new season of rehearsals in September. Is the chorus looking for new singers, Penny? Who can join and how?
Always looking for new singers. It's a very friendly group. And while there are people in the group who have been singing with NCS for a long time, and we're talking upwards of 25 years or more, everyone is very open to meeting new people. And, you start in your section meeting people who are sitting around you. It is a very easy place to make new friends. And because it's a community chorus, it's likely that you'll see somebody that you know, but you didn't know that they were singing with the Choral Society. So feel very comfortable to come in and first maybe meet the chorus on August 28th. That's Monday, August 28th at 7:15 p.m. at the Belleville Congregational Church, 300 High Street, Newburyport. This is also where we rehearse. And this is a chance for everyone to come in. NCS members will come, spouses and friends will come, and it's all a chance to meet Minji. And we're kind of going to redo this radio interview with Mary. They just agreed. We wrote them in right before we went on air, so they couldn't say no. And they'll be mic'd and on the stage, and there'll be time for people to talk, to go up to Minji and introduce themselves to her. People will be able to drop questions into a fishbowl, and they will be answered with Mary moderating. And I think we'll also be singing something with Minji. And there'll be dessert and coffee. So this is the best place. We've not done quite this kind of thing before. So it's a community meet and greet with our illustrious new music director. So if you're at all interested, this is the best place to start. And you can also go to either of the first two rehearsals and try us out before registering. So please come if you're thinking of being in a chorus. Do give it a try. Especially love tenors and basses. All American choruses always are trying to encourage the lower voices to join. So you will be as welcome as everybody else.
And when will the first rehearsal be, Penny?
So the very first rehearsal will be Tuesday, September 5th. And we do rehearse on Tuesday. So starting on September 5th, rehearsals start at 7:15. They'll, in the beginning, probably end around 9:30. Maybe later towards concert time, we might stretch it to 9:45. And we do rehearse at the Belleville Congregational Church. And so if the rehearsals start at 7:15 p.m. and you're coming for the first time, get there a little bit about 7 so you can sign in and borrow music if you want to wait a rehearsal to register, or if you've registered, that's when you'll pick up your music for the semester.
And how can people learn more, Penny?
So if you would like to give more information online, you can email info@newburyportchoralsociety.org, or member with an S, members at newburyportchoralsociety.org, and either somebody on the board or I will be happy to answer any of your questions. And then if you've not sung with us at all and you email any of those, info or members at newburyportchoralsociety.org, I'll be able to direct you with how to register, the registration steps from there. We register online with an app that's called Chorus Connection, and I'll help everybody with that.
Yeah, and I would add that the website has lots of information, so you can also just go to newburyportchoralsociety.org, and they have information there both about the chorus and its history, about the Meet the New Choral Director event, again, on August 28th, and also just general information about the chorus and information about how you can register. And registration is open. I was happy to get that. I'm always so happy to get the registration is open email, which came out a few days ago. So
if you're on Facebook, the Newburyport Choral Society has a Facebook page.
There you go.
And you could look that up as well.
I would also love to add one more thing.
Sure.
If you are worried about not being able to read music that well, I hope that you don't worry about it too much, because this is where we learn together. Even if you're not comfortable reading music, there are many singers actually who are still learning. Well, I'm still learning how to do the music. So I hope that you that doesn't stop you from considering to join us if musical literacy is something that you are worried about. And musical notation came after the ability of singing. Human was singing already before the notation was developed. So I hope that doesn't stop you.
Well, I'm really glad that you added that, because the message there is the Choral Society is absolutely inclusive. Your love of singing and interest in joining a musical community of other people who love music and love singing, that's really the only important thing. Everything else can follow. It can be a community of learning as well as a community of the love of singing. So thank you. I'm glad that you added that.
And it feels so good to sing. It
does.
really makes one feel happier, a part of your community, meeting new people. It's an exercise of the air moving through your body. And by the time you've been singing with your choral mates for a couple of hours, you feel even more alive, just feeling that breath moving through. It's almost like yoga with sound.
Oh, well put.
You become really conscious of your body and breathing. And so if you've been feeling a little isolated, post-COVID, wondering how to get back into doing more things with others, this is a great place to start.
Yeah, I have to say that, Tuesday evenings, I often feel sluggish before heading out to rehearsals, but I always return energized. And I've never thought of that as yoga with breathing, or breathing instead of yoga for some of us. But that's
yoga, breathing, and singing. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. It's all good. And there's also, I know for me, there's something about it, in addition to singing and the joy of singing and the yoga with breathing or breathing without yoga, it's the experience of harmonizing with other voice parts that I don't know how to put it into words, really. Maybe you can, but there's something about the experience of that harmonic singing with your part and with other parts coming together to make a sound that is just extraordinary, often kind of majestic, but it just creates a fellow feeling. Because you're sharing this experience with other people. And that's powerful.
Yeah.
So.
And no one single voice can create that sound.
Yeah,
Even
it's the harmony.
if you are a strong singer, you cannot carry 100 people or 125 people. And it's the mixture of the quality of all of those voices that creates this beautiful choral sound. And that's what's so lovely and special about it.
Yeah. Well, my gosh, thank you both so much. It's really been fun to talk to you, and I'm all excited now. I'm going to go home and register and find the Brahms and listen to that. So thank you so much. It's just been a joy to talk to you. I really appreciate you visiting the morning show to talk about the upcoming season for the Choral Society. And so that's it for today's show, everybody. Penny, do you have something you want to add?
My one last wrap-up.
All
if
right.
I don't do this, our fellow board member, Brian, will be very disappointed.
We don't want to disappoint Brian.
No. So, in conclusion, our Meet Minji event reception with dessert and punch and coffee.
There's the hook.
Monday, August 28th at 7:15 at Belleville. This is the side chapel, not the main church. You can't miss it. If you would like to be put on the list so that I can personally, or our board and president can personally greet you, email members with an S at newburyportchoralsociety.org. The first rehearsal of the fall semester is Tuesday, September 5th at 7:15. Come a bit early to get your music and to register. More info is at newburyportchoralsociety.org. You can email info@newburyportchoralsociety.org or members@newburyportsociety.org and have all of your questions answered. We do hope to see you at either or both events.
All right, well done. Brian will be very happy, which we all want. Thank you again so much.
Thank
we
you
really
so much.
appreciate it. All right, that's it for today's show, everybody. Please join us again next Thursday at 9 a.m. for the morning show. Till then, everybody be well. Do some singing.
Yes, in the shower.